In early April 2009, four Penn State students joined the popular social world, Second Life. The students were overwhelmed by the sheer size and endless possibilities found in the virtual world. Their lack of knowledge of Second Life was apparent to everyone. They were quickly deemed uber noobs by the users of Second Life and fell victim to virtual lives of ostracism and isolation. Then they heard of a man with unrivaled knowledge of Second Life, a man who could teach them of its many aspects and features and ultimately gain them the respect of its users. The man's name was Geraldo Santoro, and these are his teachings.
Me and my buddy.
Reading some motions, sitting. How many of you went down there?
Just three of us.
Just three?
Me and her girlfriend drove,
Nice.
which was good. But the two of them were stopping like every 50 miles on the way back to throw up because their stomachs were killing them. And me, I was still like, from the Red Bull. My name is Jerry Santoro, and I am faculty member in the College of IST and also in the Department of Communication Arts and Sciences. In the pop culture and technology class, we hint on virtual worlds, which, like video games, are an emerging form of culture that has both been influenced by and is in turn influencing technology. Right now, virtual worlds technology is emerging, and it is about where personal computers were in the late 80s. Even then, people could see a potential for the use of personal computers and networks in the future. So what have they evolved into? Things like my LG Dare smartphone that has more power than the mainframes I used in the 70s, wirelessly connected, all kinds of cool stuff. I think of a virtual world today as really nothing more than an immersive communication medium, and with the ability to add on some of the services and capabilities of the World Wide Web.
So before we get into what the answers that Professor Santoro gave us for a couple of our questions, we wanted to do a little research about Second Life and sort of just a basic idea of what it is. It's a free client program that you can install on both a Mac and a PC. And what it is kind of a social networking tool. It's kind of a virtual world. Think The Sims or think World of Warcraft. It's something like that, but it's a bit simpler in its mechanics. You create a little account, you create an avatar. The avatar is a digital representation of yourself, and you kind of walk around and explore pretty much and talk to people. We had to do a scavenger hunt for ist110, and we did a scavenger hunt to find different things on the Istania, which is the IST island server in the program. So we poked around a bit with that and looked through and saw sort of the capabilities of it. And what we saw was kind of a bad graphic kind of program that where people just go and it seems all they do is really hang out. But as you can see, continuing on with Professor Santoro's answers to some of our questions, it's actually a lot more than that, and has some capabilities that I don't think we really thought about. So one of our main questions was what is the next step in this kind of idea of Second Life? Not Second Life itself, but the idea of this virtual world.
meetings and use a shared whiteboard or a shared video board. Now, the people attending the meeting could be anywhere in the world. Limit is, because of the graphics, because of the interface, you don't get the body language, you don't get the vocal intonation. It's essential. There is a little bit of chat, but it's still flaky. It's basically a chat system with a sense of immersion, okay? Also possibly pick up facial gestures. And this is not that far off. I mean, the capability of pulling in that information, translating it, and sending it out, the pieces are all there. It's just a matter of someone deciding, hey, we need to get to that level. And similarly in the reverse. So if a student wanted to work with another student on a project, and maybe they're not co-located, maybe it's not convenient to be co-located, Second Life could be a great meeting place. You can exchange documents, you can share whiteboards, you can keep a transcript of what you discuss. You know, you can always keep it in a second window and use other apps on the internet to further help the communication. I also see it as a great way, very much like Neil Stephenson wrote in Snow Crash, that people would be able for various purposes to get together and work on things. What I think is cool is that human interaction, social interaction, which is so important to people, is also communication. So a system like that could potentially help elderly people to make contacts and social, and once they got used to it, to explore on their own. You know, I would love to set up a Second Life cave room at a, like the Village at Foxdale, a senior citizen home, and then get students to volunteer to do the driving, but hook up elderly people with their grandkids around the world. You know,
that'd be amazing.
Fact is, older people have a lot of important things that you can learn from them. Maybe not science and tech, but a lot about living through life, going through economic upheavals and surviving, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, I see it as very much as a potential win-win kind of situation. And that's even with the technology as it is right now. But as the interfaces, the bandwidth, the clients evolve and get better and better, the richness of the experience should get better and better as well.